Okay, this video is going to be a response video to another YouTuber that I've commented on, where she's talking about the state of black radio and where it's going. Since she done that video, I live in the New Jersey, New York tri-state area. One of the stations she mentioned was 98.7 KISS, WBLS, the state of black radio and media. In that video, she talks about how then 98.7 KISS had some programs called the Open Line, and BLS picked up the picked up the show, but then cut its hours from 2 hours to then 1 hour. Now they have it where they have the second hour on a internet blog show called Ustream, where they can have audience can chat in their questions and comments, and the guests, which is Bob Slade and Bob Pickett, will read the comments and respond to them, including their guests. So that's pretty much the video in its entirety. You can go and watch it and check it for yourself, but I just want to give a little update, mainly on BLS, because there used to be a program called The Rhythm Review, I believe, by Felix Hernandez, which is not on that station anymore, and another show which was started by then late great Hal Jackson, which was the Sunday Classics. And it's a shame that they've now basically canceled the show due to the station no longer wanting them, and that's sad that they let this legendary show that's been on the air for over 30 years. I can remember on Sundays, around that time slot that they had him on, hearing Hal Jackson and WB and Clay Berry playing the classics and bringing in the artists at that time who are now classic artists. So it's sad that we're losing these shows because either our generation, which I'm in the 30 plus category, is not interested, or either due to lack of participation from the general public is what's causing shows like this to go off the air and radio stations to close up shop, which could be another reason. Or with the advent of the internet, now you have websites and platforms and applications that you can use to now broadcast yourself, and there's several, and there's many that you can choose, but the few that I'm going to pick off the top of my head right now is Blog Talk. You have Ustream, Livestream, Justin TV. You even have YouTube now and Google Hangouts that you can now broadcast your shows live. All you need is a video camera and some good, decent audio equipment to record yourself, and boom, you have an instant show. So that's pretty much where the state of black radio is today. Is you're going to have to utilize the internet and utilize the technology in order to express yourself, because not too many people are going to be listening to radio much longer. Maybe radio, as far as its technology, has outlived itself. But there's a question about, let's say, the older generation, like my mom's and my grandmother's generation, and grandfather's generation, and father's generation, that don't necessarily have a computer, who doesn't necessarily know how to navigate through the web to listen to these shows. So they rely on people like me, who's young and who's tech savvy. Not to toot my own horn, I am a technician by trade, to show them how to navigate these sites to find their shows and particular topics that they're interested in. But you gotta have people that has an interest and has what's the word I'm trying to say? The charisma or the charismatic character to broadcast. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone has the time. That's what most people excuses are. Oh, I don't have the time to do it. Well, you got to make time, people. If that's what you want to do, if you have a voice and a platform, you got to make time. You got to make time for things. But that's not what this video is all about. But it's just simply to discuss the state of black radio. It's in a decline. Some say the Nielsen ratings, whatever that rating system is. Some say the internet is causing this trend. And maybe so. It may be the internet. Internet's is revolutionizing the technology that we use today. I mean, stuff that was considered standard is now obsolete. The internet, computers, everything is making some systems like broadcasting over the air obsolete. So, what's the next step for black radio? I say look into the internet. Utilize it, folks, while you can. Before, they decided not to keep the internet on. And I would also say, too, with the few minutes I have left, I like to keep these videos short, even though I can kind of expand a little bit more, but I tend to lose thought and train of thought after a certain time. I'm going to get into a little bit of the conspiracy as to why, or the setup by the establishment to keep certain radio stations silent while letting the music continue to play and brainwash and program the mindset of the youth. So when they cut shows like The Open Line off, or then they had a show on Kiss FM called The Week in Review, when they cut those shows down, it limits the potential growth for the expansion of the mind and consciousness in people, not just young people, but people of all ages and all generations. And so they want to keep a certain demographics and certain populations in a certain state where they can't elevate and quote unquote so-called take over the establishment. They don't want an educated consumer or educated listener. They want somebody to be brainwashed and programmed by the corporations to further enslave them instead of liberate them, which radio is supposed to do or should have done. It could be used two ways, but when you have shows like The Open Line to help liberate the minds of many people, many black folks that tune in. So I think it's done by design as well, by the corporations and by the radio stations to silence certain people and certain groups from getting their information out to help enrich people. So that could be another reason too. So with that being said, if these people out here that are then former on-air personalities would take a look at this video, check out the internet. The internet may be your next frontier. You may have to pay some money out of pocket, but you can get people to donate into your show. You can get sponsors through these different websites to help build your show and your audience, and also bring in revenue into your show, so you can now live again and prosper. So there's money to be made on the internet. It's just a matter of getting out there and putting yourself out there and make it happen. So with that being said, I'm going to put those links in the description box. Oh, another thing I don't want to forget, or I'll probably mention it in the video, just to kind of update the person that made the video. She mentioned Felix Hernandez. Well, Felix Hernandez is not on BLS. He's on another station called WBGL, which is 88.3. It's a jazz station. They do have his show on the weekends. I believe it's on Saturdays. And the Sunday Classics, which used to be, yes, and I said used to be on WBLS, is no longer on that station. The station decided, okay, we no longer want them, and rather than, meaning WB and Clay Berry, do their final farewell show, they just did a regular show, and that was it. And I've been noticing I didn't hear them for like weeks back last month in April, and as of now, it's now May, and I haven't heard them, and I just happened to do a research, which I'll put the site in the description box, and you can take a look at it and read what happened and read the comments so far. This is another attack on black radio, folks. Shows like Sunday Classics with Debbie B and Clay Berry, who their captain or frontier or the person that started it all was Hal Jackson, who since passed away. And rest in peace to Brother Hal for pioneering a lot of radio and breaking down a lot of barriers. But this is a slap in the face to black radio and a slap in the face to his legacy. And I hope that the people that are watching this video that work for these stations, you know, get a taste what the listeners are feeling. It's very disappointing, and it's very disingenuous of you guys to do this to them. I understand its ratings, I understand its numbers, I understand that because I used to work in corporate America. I know how numbers work. Numbers mean everything, and the quality of the work that you perform. It's all about numbers. How many work orders you can do in a certain time. That's all that they really focusing on. And when you have that kind of system in place, you tend to get quantity over quality. And the quality seems to go down as quantity is increased. But nobody seems to care. It's all about the numbers. That's all that matters. And ratings as well. So with that being said, that's all I have to say. Use the internet as your frontier, and if you have the voice and the charismatic way of presenting the truth and presenting argument, by all means, start your own show. Be that next online personality that's going to make a difference, and not just somebody, who's going to just simply talk and say, oh, well, my job is done for the day. So until then, take care and leave your comments.